Good evening. I'm going to start off the technology report, and then I'm going to hand off to Bridget to finish it up. We'll start off with infrastructure. Some of the two projects that we have this summer, we're going to be upgrading our wireless controller, and we're going to be upgrading our broadband. I know one of the questions from the board members was who provides our broadband. Currently, we use AT&T and Comcast. AT&T is our main line, and Comcast we use as overflow and kind of as an emergency. And the way that it's set up, that if AT&T were to go down, we could use our Comcast line to at least give us the fundamentals that we need to function during the day.
What's our bandwidth now, Mike?
We're currently at 400 total between the two. We have 250 on AT&T, and we have 150 on Comcast.
When we started working on this one, we had about 50.
Yeah, or even less. And so for the broadband, we constantly monitor our broadband. Every morning we get a report based on our usage during the day, the previous day. And also I got in contact with our provider, and we're currently at 85% of our capacity. We're going to be having an additional 400 machines come in this school year, and then another 400 the following year. So that if we don't upgrade this year, we're going to start having some problems with the amount of bandwidth available for the school.
So what's the upgrade going to entail, Mike?
The upgrade is going to get us from, we have to buy in increments. It goes from 250 to 500, so that'll be our next jump, will be up to 500.
500.
Megabytes, sorry. And the Comcast will be keeping it the same. We're at the max of what they offer on that service. So
what's that?
That's 150 meg. So together we'll have 650.
Okay.
And
the 500's enough when we go all the way up to.
Next year we'll have to reevaluate to see where it's at. It'll be close. My feeling is we may have to do one more jump up to 1 gigabyte, just so that we have enough spare, especially once the entire school will have over 1,600 Chromebooks out there. Not to mention, we have approximately 700 desktops. So, and with the amount of stuff that's online and the way that it's used nowadays, I only see the usage going up. Okay, the next part is the finance funding. This chart was created. It has some of our projections from that we had projected for this year, what our actual spending was, what the difference is, what we requested for this upcoming school year, and what we're projecting for the next school year. The first line is the one-to-one revenue. The way that works is every student that receives a Chromebook is charged a $100 fee. $70 of that goes towards the Chromebook. $30 goes through other expenses related to technology. We originally had projected $56,000 as revenue for that. Unfortunately, when we made that prediction, it was a couple years ago, and we did not include the 15% for waivers. So our actual this year is a little over $45,000, and that includes about 13% waivers and 9% that's still outstanding, not paid. So the other two projections that we actually have for this coming up school year and the next school year, we did include the waivers in those numbers so that we would have some better numbers to put into the budget.
But shouldn't there have been 800 almost total students this year paying the fee?
Yes.
So why how come the 5,600 didn't?
Well, the way that we did it was basically 800 times 70.
Oh.
So
that's
how we came up with that number. We should have subtracted. We should have subtracted about 15% from that. Unfortunately, we didn't.
Because the technology fee is actually $100, isn't it?
It's $100, $70 of that goes towards the one-to-one. 30% goes towards the other.
The adjustments we make are always confusing. If the technology fee is $100, then I could do the math. 100 times 8.
Right.
800 is whatever it is, right? $80,000.
So it would've been-
And then you'd show, okay, but $30 is for this, and we have free and reduce. We can all understand it, but we keep, like,
Gotta include that.
you ask us to approve in the budget a $100 fee, and then when you give us a report on it, you've made some adjustments that it'd be easier if you just start with what starting point, in my mind. Start with what we start with and then show the adjustments that you make.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And the top part, Mike, probably where it says finance and funding would just be nice to have a sentence going forward, reminding the board that out of a $100 technology fee, 30 is the general technology fee that existed prior to one-to-one. It still goes to server repairs, toner, printers, general technology.
Okay.
And then the 70 is applied to the one-to-one. And I know you have one-to-one technology fee 70.
Mm-hmm.
That would just be so that they'd understand.
Okay.
Wasn't there also a portion for the insurance?
That's all included in there. Insurance is all included in the fees.
And the $70 fee.
It's in the $70 fee, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, portion,
Yes.
right.
So underneath the revenue, we have the expenditures, some of the accounts that, especially for the new board members, paid services we have in there. That includes a product called Go Guardian, which gives us tracking abilities of the Chromebook. If a Chromebook is lost or stolen, we're able to figure out within probably 50 to 100 feet where it's located at. It also includes web filtering wherever the Chromebook is, so if it's even here or if it's at home, we're able to put web filtering on there. It includes the Google Management License, which gives us the ability to administer settings through the Google Console and push that down to the Chromebooks. And also the insurance is included in there. So also for capital outlay, that's larger equipment, usually stuff that costs more than $1,000 is in there. If you notice, for next year, we requested $17,000. That's for the replacement of the wireless controller. The non-capital equipment that's basically the Chromebooks, and basically the Chromebooks. That's what that covers. And the computer supplies, we put the Chromebook bags are under there. So if we looked at what we projected and what we actually spent overall, we spent a little over $20,000 less than we originally projected. The reason for that was that we paid less for the Chromebooks, and we upgraded our access points this previous year. We had two lines that we went a little bit above what we anticipated, and that's because the insurance went up $10 per Chromebook, and we changed the Chromebook bags from the ones that we had the first year. The problem we found with those Chromebook bags was they didn't include a separate pouch for the power supplies, and we found that the kids were more likely to forget their power supplies at home. So this following year, we ended up purchasing a bag that included a pouch that they could put their power supplies in
Where
there.
do you get the bags from?
I forget I forget the brand that we use. Unfortunately, I only order them. I've only ordered them once, so.
They hold up pretty well?
Yeah, so far we've had no problems with them.
Is
We
there
haven't had any return back to
No?
us for that were
For
broke or
damage or-
torn or anything like that. No.
Nice, that's good.
So, as you can see on the next line, we have the amount that we're going to be requesting for next year. We will see an increase in that amount because we're replacing the teacher Chromebooks. We have approximately 50 that are over 4 years old. The way that our insurance works is they will not insure anything over 4 years old. And quite frankly, with these machines, it really doesn't pay to put a lot of money into these devices once they get more than 4 years old. It just doesn't pay to put that kind of cash into something that costs less than $300 to buy a new one.
What will we do with the old one?
The old ones, at this point, we have some back that we've already collected. We've been kind of recycling them and using them around the school. For instance, we use some in the library. They have a form they fill out when they want to use the computer lab. We use them for during residency when we set up. There might be some certain forms that they want filled out. So we use them basically in-house. We don't give them out for people to take because sometimes the batteries don't last as long as they should and stuff like that. But we've been finding uses for them inside the school at this point. You can see also in the projection for the next year, which will go down because we'll be going back to just basically buying the Chromebooks for the students. Is there any questions?
Are you going to answer the question why yes, part of the question, and why your actual doesn't match the finances, or is Scott going to answer that question later?
Did you answer that in the beginning when you said
Well,
we forgot to?
No, that doesn't explain the difference.
Right now, the $45,000 is, that amount includes 13% waived and 9% that isn't paid yet. So that's
Yeah, but
about
if-
22%.
According to Scott's report, student fees technology, we took in $83,000 so far this year.
Well, that includes everything. That includes all 4 years of students, the 2 years that only pay the $30, and there's 2 years that pay the $100.
Okay.
So I'm confused where you're.
So we only
I'm
have,
confused.
We only have one
Well, here-
technology fee accounting.
I'm a
revenue.
simple-minded human being. I read the top of the report, it says Technology Board Report. I think you're reporting on technology. I kind of skipped over that you now went down a couple lines and got to the one-on-one, and I couldn't remember that out of the I could remember $100, that's easy. That now there's an adjustment for the 70 versus 30. So I did, after you said it, I realized that was 70 and it's the 45,000, okay, but what he's reporting is we took $88,000.
So the last report I have is that the full Chromebook charge was $84,865.56. The waive charged was $11,000, almost $12,000.
But his report has nothing to do with waived, because he wouldn't report dollars for waived, because we wouldn't have collected it, right?
Correct.
So that's not part of the difference.
The revenue account takes into account the additional juniors and seniors with the $30
Okay.
technology fee. So it's clumped into all one revenue account for technology fees.
So 800 collecting roughly 30 would be 24,000. And then the 800 added, right, but minus, we don't have the wave, just for what we collected.
Got it. Thank you. Okay.
So I'm going to talk about the instructional technology. So if you want to just take a look at the report, looking at the Bright Bytes data instrument, this is an instrument that looks at the impact of technology in the classroom, and it looks at 4 different areas. The CASE framework, so classroom access, skill, and environment. And you get a score on a scale of 800 to 1300. So you can see where RB falls. Really exciting, actually. We are at a 1098 proficient, 2 points away from advanced. And this is great news because this is the overall score of the whole school. And that's taking into account 2 grades that aren't even yet 1-to-1. So I think that's pretty spectacular. If you look at the notes at the bottom, if you filter out for freshmen and for sophomores, we are advanced, so that's good. We also grew in every single area, so I think that's a really great news as well, and a testament to our teachers. If you look at the second chart, this is kind of nice to compare where RB stands as opposed to the national benchmarks in West Suburban Cook County. In the overall areas, we're higher, and in 4 of the areas, all of the areas were higher than the national benchmark, and in 3 out of the 4 areas were higher than West Suburban Cook County. So this is great news. We continue to grow. Our teachers are receptive to the one-to-one initiative. There's lots of excitement for it. And of course, there are areas for improvement. So for professional development, I've created a targeted plan to look at 3 specific areas where we still are emerging or we aren't as proficient as we are in other areas. So at the December board meeting, a lot of the board members had expressed an interest in actually seeing more of how teachers are using technology in the classroom. So Gary Prokes and I worked together to create a video to demonstrate what teachers are doing in the classroom, and I think it's pretty inspirational to see how they're using technology to impact students. We had everything ready to go, but because the switch in the projector, we have an HD let's see if it works. We have HD SD issue. We'll see if it's blurry. Gary gave us a new one, so we may need to change, but
Do we need
let's
to
just
set the
see
light
what
off on that side, Mike, so
Yeah.
it'll improve?
Let's see what the video quality is, but then we might need to.
The goal of Riverside Brookfield High School's one-to-one initiative is to use technology as a tool to enhance student learning and increase student engagement. RB staff members across content areas have consistently integrated technology in a variety of creative ways, all with the goal of improving a student's educational experience at RB.
We have just about everybody signed up to our literacy resources page on Schoology, and they can access that anytime, anywhere, and it's organized by vocabulary and by research and by different examples, student examples. Teachers can access it anytime. They don't necessarily have to wait when there's an open meeting time or request time. They can go on there and teach themselves.
What my favorite feature of it is how easy it is to upload assignments to courses, and any teacher in the building can do that. So I can use the same concept map in English that students can use in their social studies classes.
And Nearpad allows students to take notes either with the teacher instructed or self-paced, so they can go on their own and work at individual rates. It engages them by asking them questions.
So I utilize Google Forms. When my honors freshmen do their homework, they always look at their online homework through their Chromebook. So as they go through their assignments, I have them go to my homepage and go into the Google form to let me know what homework questions that they have problems with.
One of my favorite new tech tools that I found, I started incorporating in Fine Arts Survey. It's this web-based composition assistant software called HookPad. And in Fine Arts Survey, we take about 2 days and learn some of the nuts and bolts of music theory basics, and then HookPad allows students to kind of create their own composition.
So this year we paired up with AP with We, and we've had a fantastic time with it. Using We Video, they are able to communicate at such a broad level and show us different parts of the world and what they were specifically looking at.
So I've actually used We Video in 2 of my AP classes. In my Spanish class, we use it to provide persuasive videos for different projects, and it really provides an engaging video that everybody can learn from. And in AP Computer Science Principles, I actually use it for the AP test itself, because we had to do a computing innovation and explain it, and I was able to make a wee video and turn it into the College Board.
So Ms. Lee and I designed a project where students would be able to virtually collaborate and peer edit each other's papers. It was a wonderful experience because students had a chance to communicate with each other using technology in a real world setting.
So we use Screencastify, and I really liked it for peer editing because I think it provides a more personalized learning experience for each individualized student.
Right now we're doing a flipped classroom, which means students are listening to the notes at home and doing a lot of the classwork in class. And then we're also using Edpuzzle, which is a way of sort of managing and tracking students so that they can get credit for listening to all the videos and all of the digital media.
I like that it offers more one-on-one time with the teacher. That way, if I don't understand the notes when I'm watching them at home, that I can come to school the next day and ask questions and understand it better than when it's in a big classroom and a lot of kids are asking questions.
It's been a great way to get very fast, very responsive feedback about what students know in terms of vocabulary and basic concepts so that we can move on to more application-based assignments. And it's just been really great knowing instantly how students are in terms of their knowledge and being able to respond in class to their needs, whether or not we need to review or go forward. I know that moment how they're doing.
So for Global Area Studies, I had my students do a video exchange project with students living in Bahrain. So to learn about the Middle East, I wanted them to have a personal example of what it's like to live over there.
What are you guys' common dance moves right now? For us, it's from the song Watch Me.
So in class we made solar power cars, and then we used Google Drawing to recreate our solar cars. And during this whole process, they made hundreds of decisions about their solar car, removing cardboard, putting the solar panel at an angle. And so now in these blueprints, they have to think about all these decisions that they made and, why did I do this? Why did I do that? And kind of recreated them digitally using Google Drawing.
As the one-to-one initiative progresses, we look forward to seeing the many ways that our staff continues to enhance teaching and learning with technology, all in an effort to provide endless learning opportunities for our students that transcend content and discipline.
So I definitely just want to thank all the staff who let us come into their classrooms, and of course the students, and of course Gary Prokes, who I'm sure is watching now for his editing expertise. But I think that gives you a flavor of what's going on across grade level and discipline. It's across content areas, and we have some really exciting things happening.
Bridget, you've done a great job with this. And Gary, great video. I know you're listening out there, and for the new board, but I know for the 4 existing board members, I mean, we started this one-to-one journey like 4 or 5 years ago with investment in the broadband and wireless points and then doing pilots. And Bridget, Kristen, Mike have been working on this tirelessly. And I think the whole board sees, just seeing the stuff that they're doing in the classroom that's outstanding. And we want to continue to encourage you to keep pushing everybody, and to the staff watching, or we'll see this later, thank you for all that you're doing and keep doing it. It's great.
It's had a huge impact at our house. My son has Mr. Davis, and he went, for the flipped classroom, he went from a D to a B. So I'm very happy.
Wonderful, wonderful testament.
Thanks for making the video, too.
Yeah, it's a great video. And we're going to put that video on, I would hope we put that online and we show that to all our incoming freshman parents. And now you're going to have to make another video again next year.
It was fun, learned a lot. So let's go, Gary, let's do it.
That'd be a great article for Bob to write about. Oh, sorry, Bob.
Great.
Are there any questions for them? Did we cover everything that you wanted to cover?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you.
Mike, you're sticking around, right, for the copiers and stuff? Yeah, I'll be in a little while. Scott's got to get through his CFO report.
Next, we move on. Is that it, Kristen? Do you have any? Okay.